is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of B2B with Ross and Bella, where we take you behind the scenes of the music industry with the people who make it all happen. I'm Ross.
I'm Bella.
And today we're going back to back with the Queen of Detroit. She is house and techno music royalty. She was named by DJ Mag as one of the most influential women in dance music history and ultimately helped craft and pioneer house and techno in Detroit, but more so the entire world. Today we're going back to back with the one and only Jennifer Witcher, aka DJ Minx.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Hey everyone.
Hi. It is such an honor to have you. I honestly can't believe that you're here because I vividly remember seeing you for the first time. So this was Rockastella. Was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
It must have been like 4.
I think it was like 4. Yeah, I think it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago, I was literally just getting into house music. So
Okay.
all of our friends are from Chicago, huge house heads, and they were like, Rockastella is the shit. We're going to Rockastella. And so we showed up and we were at your set and I'm like, who is she? She is throwing the fuck down. Like specifically, I was mentioning to my friends, I'm like, I love whoever was playing. And then they were like, that was DJ Minx. And now it's full circle that you are here and I'm going to get to actually meet you and get to know you. And so the whole thing is so cool. And I'm really, really excited that you're here. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm excited as well. Yeah, Rockastella was, that was an experience.
It was fun, right?
That place was loaded.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's sad they don't have it anymore.
I know. I was disappointed in that as well.
Yeah.
Really one of my favorite festivals because it's like on Virginia Key. It's such a vibe. And then we went back a year later, I think, and due to fire marshal stuff, they couldn't go all night, and it was just not the same the second year. But that was
the year.
A memory that was
definitely
made.
the
And
year.
so, yeah, I'm excited. And you are playing Space tonight.
I am with the one and only Walker and Royce.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
And Miss Vanessa, who's a great friend of mine. So
Really?
I'm looking forward to it.
So fun.
I'm sure you played Space many times in the past.
I think I've done it 3 times.
Okay.
So far.
Is
And
it
they make
always-
the best fresh ginger shots?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the
They're
ginger
so
shots.
good.
They really keep you going. A fresh ginger shot, that'll wake you up more than
that is it.
espresso.
Yeah.
They do have you had the food there?
I've not.
They have an amazing grilled cheese.
But you're vegan.
I am.
You okay?
I feel like they might have a vegan one, you know?
I don't know. For the most part, when I go, I usually get like a big plate of fruit.
Yep, the fruit,
And some nuts.
the coconut water.
Yes, the coconut
fresh
water
coconut,
is 100%
unmatched.
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping it fresh.
Definitely.
When what time are you playing tonight?
I'm playing 1 to 3.
Okay, so when you have a set that's at 1, what do you do before? Are you going to their space early and listening to other people, or are you chilling in the hotel?
It depends on who's there. So I'll go ahead of time. I try to get there a little before, an hour before. It depends on who's there. So if it's people like my friends, then I definitely want to go earlier tonight and have some conversations and catch up and things. Yeah, because I've not seen them in quite a while. I saw them a couple of times in passing. Last time I saw Vanessa and Royce was in the airport lounge. And he shared some bad news, and I was just there crying with him. So the rest of my stay there was just kind of it was rough, but I miss them and I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully tonight you can all get
Yeah.
back together and reminisce.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you make friends in the scene, whether it's other artists or their managers or their agents, oftentimes the time you spend with them is in a club or at a venue where it's loud and it's hard to talk. Do you get to spend time with those artists outside of that setting often, or not really?
I guess it depends on, again, where we are. So if I'm traveling to a state where they are, then we can have a studio session
Right.
and we can talk and we can go and vibe and have some lunch and things like that. But other than that, we're just shouting at each other at the club.
I know.
What?
Barely hear one another, and you can't really catch up.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not easy. Just, after connections are our best friends.
Yeah. I feel like during Music Week, we just saw so many of our closest friends, but it was at a show, at the club.
it's
And
a crazy time.
I
You
want to
see
hang out with
everyone
these
ever.
people so badly, but it's we can't, we don't have the time.
Yeah.
And then they're on to the next thing and the next thing. And it's just hard.
Miami Music Week is very on the go. One
It
thing after another.
is, Yeah, it's constantly. And you can see, and it's love to see people. I love to see people that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
And Miami Music Week, it used to be the Winter Music Conference. And that's when everyone would come and you can have like a reunion of sorts every
Yeah.
year. But it's right now, like you said, it's just everything is fast moving. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, hi, I didn't get to talk to you, but
I
hey,
know.
hi, goodbye.
I
Pretty
know.
much. That's my dad used to say.
Do
And
you
that's
have any funny or crazy winter music conference stories from throughout the years that you could share?
Nope. I sure don't. Yeah, it's always been one thing I used to love about the music conference is when Louis Vega and Kenny Dope had those parties, those beach parties
Mm-hmm.
in the sand. And we would dance till the sun went down in the sand. It was such a good vibe. Lil Louis would play parties here and everything was just it was tighter. It was
Right.
closer knit.
Yeah.
And we would go from party to party to try to see all the DJs and our friends and whatnot. We didn't make it to them all, but we made a point
Mm-hmm.
to go and visit our friends while they were here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be some hell of a parties. Live,
Oh,
Louis
sounds
Vega live,
amazing.
Josh Milan, all of that. I miss it all.
Oh,
and I
sounds
love it all,
amazing.
yeah.
Speaking of the sunset parties, the sunrise, do you prefer a late night set or do you prefer the sunrise set?
I think late night.
You
more
like to
so than
take
the
it into the
sunrise.
night rather than bringing it into the morning?
Now, I have one exception to that. Movement. I'll do a
Movement.
sunrise set during movement.
Movement goes through sunrise.
Oh yeah, some of the
Movement
parties
looks
ridiculous.
insane. Our friends go every year. We haven't,
We haven't
been yet.
Oh,
which
gosh.
is not
That needs to
right.
change.
You
That
have
needs
to
to
experience
change.
that.
Yeah, we do.
So
Yeah.
do you have a running stage at Movement?
I do. I do.
So
a stage
it
every
started what
Monday.
in 2023,
This
22?
is coming up on the third year.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Do you get to sort of handcraft the lineup a little bit and sort of pull in who you want to play?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Just trying to get the best of the best, but I try to keep it colorful.
Right.
Like people that don't play the festival or people that you wouldn't expect to be on my stage.
Like who?
Well, Ricardo Villalobos.
Shut up. Let's
Shut
go.
your damn. You better get the hell out of here, child. Ricardo, Seth Troxler.
Seth.
Oh, fire. You could stop there. That's
my
unreal.
boy. I love
We
Seth.
love Seth.
I fought tooth and nail to get Honey Dijon on my stage.
Is she
and I
on there?
had her close it out last year.
Iconic.
And first time, trans woman closing out. Boom. It was the best. And she and I would go, we've got the same booking agent. Why can't we make this happen? And she was like, come on, Dow. We got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Work on it. I was like, honey, are we going to make it happen this year? And the booking agent was like, we are.
Let's go.
When my manager said it, I was like, I'm going to cry right now. Give me a minute.
I love
Yeah. The after party was loaded, and she played the after party as well.
So, what is it about Movement that you think makes it so special, that makes people speak of it so highly?
I think what a lot of people say about Movement is it's like a family reunion every year. I mean, people are so close and tight during Movement, and we all get to talk and we all get to hang out. And it's just like seeing your family member every year when they come, even the talent, because by the time they leave, they're in love with us and
Right.
they want to come back. I remember having a conversation with Basement Jacks in the green room it's at High in Ibiza. And they were telling me how much they loved that festival. They played their set, they stayed. And at my stage, they were in the crowd, dancing to the set. And they missed me that night at High. I was like, you like me? You're Basement Jacks. And they were saying that is the most personable festival they've ever gone to and played. And a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah,
And
I've
I'm
only
just happy
heard
about that.
great things about it.
Yeah,
Like
you
our
gotta
friends
check it
rave
out.
about
Yeah, they really
Movement.
do.
They
Should we go
really,
this
really
year?
do. Yeah, maybe.
You should.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should. I want to talk about Detroit, though. I mean, that is so central to who you are, right? Like, what was it like growing up in Detroit?
Well, first of all, I was born and raised in Detroit. All of my family is from South Georgia, except me. Growing up in Detroit, with the ice cream trucks running down the street during the day and at night in the evening, like we owned a gas station. And when my parents came home, then it was chill time, and it was always music. And we always played records, 45s, throughout the house all day, every day. So music has been a big part of my life growing up. And even live music, whether it was on the corner of our street or the opposite corner where there was a record store, there was always music in our lives. And we moved from the east side to the northeast side, and again, that's more music. And I've always loved it. Just one day when I started hearing this different kind of music, I fell more in love with it, which was, of course, house and techno. Yeah.
So the first time you heard house and techno, did you like it, or were you like, what is going on with this?
That part.
Yeah.
What's going on with it?
Same.
And it's only because it was a mix of music. And hats off to whomever I was listening to playing it, because it was just clear and it was smooth. So you didn't know the tracks changed. I didn't know anything about the mixing, nothing about it. All I knew was it was a continuous track that never stopped.
Yeah.
And that was very irritating to me.
Yes.
I absolutely did not like it. I didn't. And I can admit that now because I love it now. But yeah, I didn't know about the mixing and how all that worked. Like listening to Jeff Mills on FM 98, WJLB, just scratching and just playing all these wild tracks together. It was different listening to him than it was listening to Hot Wax on the same station.
Yeah.
She was the one that played the house. And Jeff Mills is the one that played the music that Electrifying Mojo, which is another station that he used to play. But Jeff mixed it. And that's when I started getting a whiff of knowing that it was mixed, because I was recognizing that music. It was always, something that was weird to me until I went to the club and heard it being played in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just seeing those people just jumping and screaming to this music, I just felt like crying. I'm like, this is a love immediately. This is a love for a different kind of music that is like no other.
No, I feel that and completely agree. Like, similar experience was like, this is boring. It doesn't have words, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like it's the same thing over and over, especially if you're like at a minimal set or something. And then
But looking back on
it connects, the dots connect, and then you're like obsessed with it. And it's just so interesting how it's like this energy.
The cliche chirp at house music is it's so repetitive and it sounds so similar. But looking back at that from that viewpoint, you couldn't be more wrong. That's just not the case at all. So growing up, obviously, it sounded like music was a big part of your family, but you as a kid, were you musical? Were you singing, playing instruments or anything?
I played the violin.
Just in school?
Yes. And that was it. I didn't have one at home. Yeah, we couldn't get something like that. But that's as far as it went. I didn't play anything else. Organ. There was an organ at home. And I know the numbers to play to make a song, like 8, 9, 10, 12, 12, 13, 12, 10, 8, 9. That is Christmas tree. Now that I remember that, but we did have an organ. I have a picture of myself playing that organ. I have to find it.
We may ask you to shoot it over to us so we can include it in the pod.
Get out of here.
Come on, that sounds like gold.
With that big Spirit of 76 hat. Oh my gosh, 1776, 1976 hat. I remember that with a big pom-pom on top. But
you need to find that.
oh my God.
People need to see that.
We usually do the segment at the end where we have like a funny picture that we can find, but like there's not much out there of you that you probably don't know about. Like some DJs, they're like, I have these pictures on Facebook that I did not know existed, but I went through the depths and I couldn't find anything juicy.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it's
one of me that I really
She's got a good publicist.
There's one that I really wanted when my mom passed, but I couldn't find it.
Damn.
And it was me, and because I've always worn glasses, and they've always been so thick, and that would have been a good picture, because I would rarely smile in my pictures because of my teeth. I was always shy, but that one I smiled a lot. And my hair was in a cute ponytail in the top, but that collar was this big. Yeah, that would have been good. I just don't know where that picture is.
What's your prescription? How thick we talking?
Okay, for you to ask me that right now, I don't hell. I have astigmatism.
Yeah,
So
same.
does he.
Same.
Okay, and my left eye is worse than the right,
Mhm.
and they're just thick. I mean,
They're really thick. I can tell from here.
What shit? Okay, you know what? We have boundaries here.
Yeah, Bella, settle down.
Okay, Bella. Bella, check 1 2. Bella Bell. She gonna get it when this camera go off. They are though,
Dying.
and I really don't care.
No, no,
I
you
don't because I can
shouldn't.
see. But you know what? Back in the day, we weren't able to have cute frames.
I
But
love
we
the ones you
can
have on right now. They're
Yeah, those
so
are
cute.
awesome. Going back to your childhood in Detroit, I read that you are the youngest of 5 siblings.
Yes.
I am also the youngest of 5 siblings.
Okay.
What was that experience like for you? Were you protected by them? Were you bullied by them? Were you seen as like the golden child because you were the youngest?
Are we gonna be truthful? Okay. Let's see. 3 boys and 2 girls. I have a sister, and I think I was bullied a lot.
By them?
My sister.
Mm-hmm.
My sister bullied me quite a bit. Yeah, but she was so angelic and very sweet to my parents or around them that they never believed anything I said.
Oh, they didn't know the other
Yeah,
side.
they
The girl who
never
cried
did.
wolf.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they never believed it. But yeah, I was so shy and quiet. I didn't bother anyone, and I was a good girl, you know, according to my parents. They've both gone on, but I mean, they would have told you this that I was definitely a good girl, but my sister didn't want me to be anywhere near her.
Well, the baby of the family definitely gets some preferential treatment.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
if you're
see it.
like the second oldest and you got 2 boys between, and then you get another girl, she was the only girl, then I come along.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
stole the
So
spotlight.
she's the
Yeah.
she's what, the 4th or the
She's
3rd?
the second. She's the I have an older brother, Scott.
Okay.
Then I have my sister.
Okay.
And then 2 other brothers than me.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you still close with all of them now?
One of them has passed
Oh, I'm sorry.
on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But yeah, I am. The rest, yes.
I have 4 older brothers, so I'm the youngest by 9 years.
Wow.
Like my next youngest brother is 9 years older than me. So they span 9 to 12 years older than me. So that youngest always thought he was going to be the youngest his entire life. You know, he was 10, and then I came around, the little young shithead running around in diapers and stuff. So I
Damn.
took that youngest
Stole
claim to
that
fame, right?
spotlight.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
his
from
mom
under him.
was like, "We gotta try for a girl," and then Ross comes out. She's like, "I'm done."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the end of
They
that.
Yeah, they had the girl name picked out and everything, but
Oh, what was the girl's name going to be?
so my name's Ross Elliott, and it was going to be Rosella, which is after my grandma.
Oh,
We actually,
beautiful.
our grandmas share the same name, oddly enough.
Yeah, really weird. Both of our grandmas
Yeah.
are named Rosella.
So rather than
But that's the
Rosella, they
namesake
did
now.
Ross Elliott, which is like, you know, an ode to her.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to you,
Yeah, sure.
our guest of honor. So, Detroit, you were musical as a kid, and then you fell in love with this music, and then you taught yourself how to DJ, right? Like you're pretty much self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
How did it come to you easily, or were you like sitting there like, what the hell do I do? How does this work? Especially because you're on vinyl, you don't have any of the tools that people nowadays have.
Yeah, vinyl. Well, I guess since I learned on vinyl, it didn't seem as much of a challenge as one would think nowadays. But yes, sitting on the floor with turntables, I didn't even have like them elevated
Just
at all.
on
I
the
sat
floor.
on the floor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, JVCs with a pitch dial that you just dial.
Wow.
And yeah, my mentor brought me 2 records and just said, you know, learn how to mix these. Just make them sound like the music you like to hear.
Yeah.
It was easier said than done because it took a long time to mix those 2 tracks. So it was very much a challenge.
Just
And
trial
once I
and
got
error.
it, yeah. And once I got it, it was nothing I couldn't mix. Yeah. And I always played like I banged tracks. I would go over 130 BPM.
Love that.
Yeah. I played really fast techno type.
Do you think mixing is like innate to some people? Like some people just understand the way that songs need to be mixed together.
I think if you want to learn how to mix, you can, especially depending on the type of music that you choose.
Mm-hmm.
Some tracks like there's Slap House. I think I heard something called Slap House now. I've never heard it. It's so many different types. All I know is house and techno.
Yeah.
Then you've got all these subgenres that fall under it.
Yeah.
But it depends on the music. If you like what you're playing, then of course you could mix it. You can feel it and mix it. Like I can get a track now, and that's just me. I can get a track that sounds good now and just mix it in without having listened to the whole track. Yeah, it just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
How long really do you think it took you to get the first like beat match perfectly?
I would think a couple of months.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like couple hours.
No way, Jose.
Oh, so you were really working at that.
Yeah, I had a regular job too.
Yes.
So I was going to work. But each night I would just try to pitch those tracks. We don't have techniques. We don't slide. We're locks.
Mm-hmm.
You got dials. So you dial in and go too fast and it goes too slow.
Mm-hmm.
So those turntables weren't made to actually blend and mix. I just happened to have two of the same ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just difficult. But when I got techniques, just within 1 minute, boom, locked, go. Yeah. It was just because of the equipment I was using.
Right.
I could hear the sound,
Mm-hmm.
but I just couldn't blend it in properly.
Yeah. And you didn't have any of those visual cues to sort of help you, right?
Yeah, it's a lot different now.
That's the other thing. It's like nowadays you can literally just look at or just press sync.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
You don't even need to know how to do it.
Yes.
So that's pretty crazy. What you have such a like your own sound, a characteristic sound, a DJ Minx sound. How do you define your sound?
It varies, I guess. A lot of people, when I do, like I have a night that it's House Your Life. And I always have guests. But when I have an open to close set, then I can really just play those 5 hours and everything I've ever wanted to spend,
Yeah.
I can play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take you through like an entire journey by starting with maybe some R&B. You might even get some new wave from old school radio.
Mm-hmm.
You might get a little bit of jazz. So the sound varies, but for the most part, I'm doing some hard, heavy thumping house or some disco house and some techno, because I always get disco house, techno, and harder house in my sets, because that's what I'm feeling. And like you were speaking about the timing of the sets, if it's like late night, then that depends on what I'm going to play first or how I'm going to roll through it.
Yeah, that dictates the vibe. That's why I loved your set so much, because that's what I typically love.
What, disco?
In a set. I
Disco
like
house?
a hard thumping house, like just one that shakes my ass, basically. Like
Yes.
if I hear it and I want to shake my ass, then I know it's a good set.
Yeah.
She was shaking her ass.
Okay, good. Job done.
Yeah.
Period. But that's
Check
really
the
that's what I'm
boxes.
looking for. So thank you.
So I want to take it back. We were talking about Detroit, your childhood, and what it was like growing up. But obviously the scene, the house and techno scene, really crafted you as an individual, you as an artist. What was the scene like back then? Like, was it looked down upon almost by outsiders? Was it seen as like bad, or people didn't want you to be involved in it? Like, just talk us through what the vibes were like back in the 90s or the 2000s.
Specifically for me,
Yeah, for you.
it was challenging, because a woman being a DJ and playing this kind of music was just something that was unheard of, especially when you're being a prissy lady and you've got on dresses and pearls and big hair and things like that. It was definitely looked down upon. It wasn't anything that people took seriously. So I did my best to think about how I was going to show people that I actually meant business. And it was to keep my look and the way I was, approaching people, demanding respect and just not dealing with anybody's bullshit. that was how I was going to. That's how I was going in, and I was going to bang the house, and you were absolutely going to be left aghast. And I made sure, with me being shy, it was hard for me to look at people, as I played the music, because within me I was always thinking about how negative people felt about me being a lady DJ and playing what the guys play. Because I fought with the fact that it was a man's world, and I just didn't want to give in to that. Yeah. With the help of my mentor, who was constantly pushing me, like, you're going to play this music and you're not going to stop, and you are just absolutely going to forget these people. We're going in this club. And I mean, he always had my back, because without him, I would have caved. Yeah. It was hard. It was painful, and it was just rough.
I'm curious, like, what were some of the things you actually dealt with? People yelling things at you, saying mean things to you? Like, we didn't have social media, right, where you could have gotten it that way. Like, what were you actually dealing with?
You're playing this music like you have a dick. Girl, Bella is on it today. That was... Girl, I'm telling you. Somebody said that. Do you play like you have a dick? Do you have a dick? Are you really a man? Because, and the negative part of that is, okay, my feelings are hurt that you feel this way.
Yeah.
But I think I feel a little empowered.
Yeah, what if I do have a dick?
Okay.
Did you let that, was that gas to your flames? Like, did you let that fuel you? Like, I'm going to fucking show them who has.
You know what? At first, I had to kind of take it in. And no, it hurt my feelings badly. Like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Yeah. But then I said, you know what? For it to be a man's world and you think I'm a man and I'm not, so I must be doing this shit right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it did give me power. It did make me say, you know what? Just keep flowing, because obviously you're a threat and you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there ever a turning point where some of those chirps and that backlash subdued a little bit and they started to respect you as a woman, as a DJ? Like, was there a turning point that you look back on and you're like, okay, that's when I was legitimized in, a man's world?
There's a night called Soul Night in Detroit, in this huge theater called the State Theater. And this theater held thousands of people. And they had this soul night where the DJs played and they just danced. And soul, it was R&B and soul music. The person that ran the night called me one day and asked me for a cassette of my mixes, because I heard about you, is what he says. And I said, because at this point, I'm at the fed up point with people in that shit, right? He said he wanted a cassette. And I said, oh, okay, want a cassette. We're on the phone. In the phone book, you can find anybody calling me and shit. So you want a cassette, huh? He said, yeah, so I can hear what you sound like, because I heard you were good. Okay. I don't have one. You don't have one? I said, no, I don't. Do you want me to play or not? And he says, well, no, if I don't get a cassette. I said, okay, goodbye. And I hung the phone up. Because I started getting to the point where this is going to break. People are going to stop this bullshit. And they're going to realize that if they want me to play, that they're going to get me to play and they're going to pay me for it. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing the charity work. Fuck all of it. I was over it. He called me back. I don't know how long it took. But maybe he called me back the following week. I would like for you to play at Soul Night. Okay. Can you be there at, I don't know what time he told me, maybe 9 o'clock or something. Okay. Well, so we didn't talk about money. Oh, yeah. I'm going to pay you for it. Okay. I went to play Soul Night. And the booth is it's a drop down booth. So you see all the people around you. Okay. Up. I was very nervous because I didn't know that I was not only the first guest, but I was a woman. And not only that, they were letting a woman play techno at a soul night. This brought me so many negatives. These people hated me. Do you understand? So, what is it about you? All this time I've been supporting, and they never asked me to play. I don't know. I was like, damn. Oh, you got to play soul night? What did you do different? I don't know. And being shy and, sitting back with my feelings hurt, I started saying, well, obviously it's something that they like about me.
Yeah.
Fuck if I know. Okay? You talk to them, don't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was when people started to do more respect, showing more respect. It took a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still sketchy because it wasn't constant. It was still people that were, giving a lot of disrespect and asking me to do sexual favors and things of that nature. And all of the sexual favors I can 100% say, get the fuck out of my face.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
None of it worked. If I didn't want to date you, I didn't date you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I demanded respect. And this is when women started jumping, trying to find me.
Mm-hmm.
That same phone book, getting my number and calling me. I need help. How did you do this? Or how did you do that? What did you say? What do I say to this person that's asking blah, 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 blah? So this is when I started to do Women on Wax because I knew the formula at that point. You have to show that you are demanding respect and not let anyone disrespect you by asking you bullshitting sexual favors and saying shit that you just will not accept. Don't do it. So that's when everything started to grow for me.
I love that. You're so powerful. Like you
Yeah.
actually are. That's amazing.
That's incredible. I mean, you demanded the respect, and I can't even begin to imagine how many women you've been able to help since then. And if we look at like how far we've come since the 90s, there's so many more women DJs, but still there's a far way to go. Like we're not even close.
Yes.
If you still see lineups, there's like 20% maybe are women or even less.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's incredible what you've been able to accomplish. What would you like to see happening in the future? Like, what do you think you can do to keep that stride going in the positive direction?
There needs to be more bookings of women, females, whether trans, straight, whatever. They need to start booking more for talent. Book for talent.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these women are very talented out here. And we're seemingly belittled by all the big ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
They need to look within, listen, do your homework, and find these women that are actually banging the box because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're just being overlooked. And I want us to get away from speaking about being a female DJ.
Right.
Because we're DJs.
Right.
Side story. I was at a festival speaking with some people, and I had some of my T-shirts, Women on Wax T-shirts, and I was kind of giving them away. And this was a long time ago, long before I had my festival. And I handed my T-shirt to a gentleman, and he's like, "What am I going to do with this?" I said, "Hopefully wear it." And he held it up and he said, "It says Women on Wax. Why would I wear this?" I said, "Well, you know you're not a woman, right?"
You should have told them, well, you know what you're going to do with this T-shirt? Shove it up your fucking ass.
Oh, okay. Boom.
Yeah.
And that would be a good response. I said, "You know you're not a woman, so it's for support." Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Well, I said, "That's okay. Give it back." It was always that type of thing. Just looking at. You know what I did? I said to him, I said, "I'm not shunning a Pistons jersey."
Yeah.
I mean, so
It's for
I
support.
don't get it.
Yeah.
I said, but you know, if you know you're not a woman, then why not just support it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started Woman on Wax, which is your label now, right? It sounds like, to support and uplift other women in the scene. Did you start it at that time as a label, or did you more so start it as a platform to continue to uplift women in the scene?
It was basically to get women together, to support them,
Yeah.
to get them out there in the scene, and to kind of guide them, to mentor them,
Right.
and help them along with what they needed, the tools they needed to actually make it in the business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started it, as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
I just started to support and be there for the ladies.
Yeah. And it's
love
still
it.
going today, right? And you run a mentorship program through Women on Wax.
It's getting back up there.
Okay.
I've been so busy with the music and things like that I haven't really focused. So I do have a few people that I am mentoring right now, just not as broad as I was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of, with the women being out there, it's getting better for us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a 24/7 thing, but they know that I love them. And
Yeah.
Of course.
if they have anything that they need, that can get in touch with me.
Yeah.
Of course.
So you provide so much wisdom and feedback to women that are up and coming, but when you were a woman making your career, you mostly were mentored by men. What is one thing that you wish that you were told by a woman in the industry?
I think, you know what? There's a young lady named Serena Tyler who was mentoring me. To this day, she's a wonderful, wonderful friend. And she guided me with most of what I know today. Yes, there are guys out there that are great friends, but I felt like I shouldn't have been afraid to ask anyone to help and support me, which I was. So had I known that it was a world out there where you can just ask people to assist, or maybe with this, or, I need knowledge on this or that, and you can just ask, that I didn't know. So
Okay.
Were you scared to show weakness, maybe show that you didn't know the answer to those questions, or you were
No.
just shy?
I was shy, but I didn't know that it was. I don't even know how to say it. I don't even know if it's just me not knowing that people would actually help. I think that man's world thing came into play
Mm-hmm.
because one day I did an interview with a bunch of guys. Was it maybe 6 of us? And I was the only woman. And they were talking to each other. We were on Zoom. They were talking to each other. Remember when I, did this for you? Remember I did this? That's because you played the keys, blah, blah, blah. And I sat and looked. I wasn't saying anything because nobody did any of that stuff for me. And I interrupted. And I said, oh, my gosh, I wish someone would help me like that.
I'm glad you guys are all taken care of. Meanwhile.
And Carl Craig,
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
And from there, everything changed.
Wow.
It's just like,
That is
We
a
just got
testament,
so-
though, to how much of a boss bitch you are, because you really have come such a long way against a lot of odds without all the help that some of these other guys have. And so props to you. You are a very powerful woman.
thank you. I was a DJ at the club. Now, see, y'all done got me started. I was a DJ at this club, the Warehouse in Detroit. And it was me, Kim James, Gary Chandler, and they're from Radio WJLB.
Okay.
So WJLB had this huge night, and I was always the opening DJ. Now I was the opening DJ, and after my DJ set, I went to a radio station, WGPR. It was it's probably 2 blocks from this club. That's when I had to do Deep Space Radio with Kevin Saunderson and Juan Atkins.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I left after that set, and I had 20 minutes to get to the station.
Just
But-
running there.
Right. Quick. I was quick. But when I was at the Warehouse, girls would come in the booth and make a request. And I was like, well, okay, what is the request? I want to talk to him. I need to talk to the DJ. I'm the DJ. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk. That's Gary Chandler come over. Bitch, didn't she say she was the DJ? fuck?
You are so hilarious.
Dealing with these bitches out here is a fucking mess. And I'm gonna tell you, this stop. It hasn't stopped yet. It hasn't stopped yet. If my manager knew I was acting like this, but he know the fucking struggles.
You're not
These
shy.
bitches is just, I am as shit.
To this day, you would consider yourself
Wait,
shy?
is the shy in the
You
room
know
with us?
what?
Yes, has the shy exited the room?
Girl, come back in here. No, I am still, but I guess it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You all don't make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm respectable.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this shit just, when I think about it, it's just heartbreaking because I just don't understand why people just are intimidated and they show it. Because if I wouldn't show that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why would you? You don't want anybody to see that you're jealous, and it just shows
It
like
is
so
sad,
easily.
though. I think, honestly, that we would be a lot farther in evolution as women if we didn't beat each other down, because it is like the first nature. If you're jealous of someone, then you want to talk shit about them, and then you don't like them, or they're your enemy, right? But it's like, what if we just embraced that and idolized that, right?
It's not easy.
But there's a long way to come.
It's a long way to go.
There's a long way to come.
So idolize wise, I look up to Kevin Saunderson quite a bit. He is a great friend. He's always been supportive. He's always given me direction and let me know the basics of what I needed to do to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Moody Man, Kenny Dixon, number one. I'm going to tell you, when he followed me club to club to club to watch me play and then stopped me and said, okay, let's start your record label. My mouth was open. I'm like, are you serious? I don't know how to make, yes, you do. Give me that record. He wrote down what he wanted me to do. Make 4 releases and call them, and they're going to post. They're going to put them, they're going to press all the vinyl and put them out. Going to give me distribution. He made it so that I changed Women on Wax the collective to Women on Wax the record label.
Right.
He was like, keep your name because that's how people know you.
Right.
Start making that music. So Moody Man is such a lover of women and supporter.
Love it.
He is he's a great guy. Even being friends with Erykah Badu, he still got time for us little people.
Crazy.
Precious.
That's amazing.
Serena Tyler. I mentioned Serena. Serena has been a great friend since day one, and she has never changed. She will tell me today, I believed in you when you didn't believe in you. And that is the absolute truth. Because, like, you know, one day you're going to blow up. You're going to be this. You're going to be this, Minx, because the things that you are doing, nobody does. And she praised me for having Honey Dijon close out my stage at the festival, because a trans woman has never closed a festival stage.
Wow.
Gerald James, that is the mentor from the beginning, telling me you're not leaving this club, even though those women said you're not getting in.
Is he the one who brought you the vinyl to start mixing those 2 songs?
He did. He bullied me. Mix these. I said it took me 3 months, but it took me 3 weeks, I think.
Okay.
Because he's, you know, I would call him and I would go, Jerry, did you mix that music? No. Well, call me back when you like, he would hang up. He would hang the phone up.
Slam it.
And then I called, did you mix it? Yeah, I'll be over there in a minute. Gave me 2 more records and left. Hello, are you home yet? I mixed them. He was like, that's what I'm talking about. I'll be back over. And so that's when it started for me with that.
Yeah.
So between Gerald, they call him Jerry the Cat, Serena, Moody Man, Kevin. Those are the people that I absolutely adore and thank for this. And they, to this day, say, you know, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing things. So Kenny will be like, I'm proud of you, baby.
Well, I love that all of your icons are people that you actually personally know. Like, I thought you were going to say, you know, some singer or something like that inspires you. Is there anyone that you can think of that you don't know that you look to for inspiration, whether you're making music or just the way that you're carrying yourself as an artist?
I would think more so music,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have anything to do with the music that I make, but it has something to do with the music I listen to when I want to get in the mood to make some music.
Which is
I
what?
love the Beatles.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh.
I love the Beatles.
Yeah.
People can never look at me and know that I know all of their songs. My sister, she used to hate me about that shit too. She used to hate me about the Beatles, honey.
I
She
love
did
that.
not.
That's amazing. That's what I was like. I really am interested to hear who you're actually listening to when you're not listening to, you know, house or techno music. Like, what other kinds of music do you like?
I love jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Jazz and chill music.
There's a wonderful, what is it, the Jazz Kitchen here? Amazing food, jazz in the background, live
yeah.
jazz. You would
It's
love
a great
it.
Turkish
You would really love it.
restaurant.
Really?
And they
Yeah.
have live jazz on, I think, the weekends.
Okay.
You should go there.
Okay, that sounds
Next time you're in
beautiful.
town. It's
Yeah.
lovely. But yeah.
So I want to talk about a point in your career, not necessarily the hiatus, but I know you were working a full-time job as you were trying to grow your career and as you were growing as an artist. What was that duality like, right? I know that there's a ton of artists and DJs who are coming up who still have that corporate job, who maybe are trying to quit it and don't know what the right time is. But like, did your coworkers know that you were DJ Minx on the weekends and that you were a project manager during the week? Like, what was that like? Were you hiding it?
That's fine. I was.
It's like Hannah Montana.
I was like, right.
Yo, that could be a sick series.
Oh my
DJ Minx, and then
God.
like your weekday project manager self.
Man, I was nerdy. You think these glasses thick? Honey, I would be in the office with my glasses and my suits on, and nobody ever knew.
That's cool.
Not at all.
Not at all.
That's
I
wild.
had before I got to a different facility of General Motors, I worked at the Renaissance Center downtown, which is a building right outside of the Movement Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a meeting, and the CIO was in there of Tech Systems, and he was asking about roundtable items, and nobody had roundtable. Well, I didn't have anything, and then somebody else said something or whatever, and the meeting ended. He said, "Nobody has anything else." Well, I do. And he pulled up a paper. He said, "Jennifer is some kind of international DJ."
What?
In front of the whole meeting?
Yes, he did. It was a
No
paper called the Metro
way.
Times. Yeah, he did.
In
And I
a
was-
bad way?
Were
He
you
was
like,
saying this, or he was just like, look
I
at
have to
this.
No,
excuse
I was
myself.
shocked. And I know I was like, oh my God. I was just like, the cover's blown.
Yeah.
And so and they were going, what? And he passed it around. And he said, yeah, look at this. And he said, Jennifer. And I go, oh my goodness. I couldn't say anything really, right? And so everybody's like, oh my God, this is great. And, you know, I need to see if you can DJ a wedding.
That is so
Little do you know.
insane.
Little do you guys know.
But after that meeting was over, he came to my desk and he said, you know what? I think this is phenomenal. You know, when do you do this? And I told him just weekends. And, you know, I played in Europe sometimes. But I just, you know, when I take off for Friday, he says, you know, I will work with you.
That's amazing.
So whenever you need some time, let's work together on this because I need you to keep, this is wonderful. So he was very supportive.
That's so
That is
cool.
awesome. And so he
Yeah.
was just randomly reading the newspaper and saw your
Yeah.
face. and
Did
he's
they
like,
start
"What the
acting different around you?
I don't know. 'Cause I was really shy. Then I was like, get away. But then it was another, when I went to a different department and nobody knew anything.
That's
but
crazy.
Movement, Paxahau had me they do these like Techno Tuesdays. And so I was on the news and I, you know, it's like I'm going to be in work late or whatever. And when I got to work, my name on my office was covered. And it said DJ Minx. Somebody wrote it. I was like,
They're on to me again.
Have you ever seen Severance?
no, that's on Apple. Isn't
Your
it?
Audi
Yeah.
is a DJ.
Yeah.
It's like this show. The whole concept is like who they are in work. They completely like sever, and then in their day-to-day life, like they have no connection.
Those
They're
people
two
don't know
separate
each other.
people, but they're the same person. But their brain like cuts off.
This is what's on Apple
Yeah.
TV?
Yes.
You
Okay,
should
my
watch.
daughter
It's a
watches
great
it.
show.
This is literally
But
Okay.
like the funny thing is like your Audi is this, your Audi is that, your Audi is a DJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, but your
I see
innie
it.
has no clue that your Audi is a
Oh,
DJ.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, so back to you're basically living a double life. You're DJing, literally touring in Europe on the weekends and having a full-time job. Were you also a mother at this time?
Yes.
Okay,
2
you had a
daughters.
lot on your plate.
I did, yeah.
Also, you've been open about being in like a controlling relationship too.
Yes.
How did you deal with all of that? The pressure from your spouse at the time, having a full-time job and traveling and being this like facing
Definitely a lot. Definitely a lot. You know, with this music thing, it seems to be something that intimidates a lot of people, namely the person I was with. It was obviously intimidating, and he wanted me to stop the working a lot. He asked about it several times. You need to not do this because, you know, this is not what you need to do. You need to raise the kids. I mean, but still, my balance was on point. And I'm talking about leaving work, going home, making some dinner, whatever I needed to do at home. Shit was always handled. House was smooth. House was clean.
Love
House
that.
was good. I had a studio outside of home, and I'd go there to do a radio show on Tuesdays. I did a live show, and I wouldn't stay there long, but on Fridays I would get the girls and we would go to the studio, and it was like a living room. It was just very cute, refrigerator and all. And I packed them food, and they can watch TV and they can play games. So, and I would just go there and produce tracks, stay there for a couple of hours, and then go back home. So I did what needed to be done, but it was just unsatisfactory for an individual that was probably intimidated by my future. And I stuck with it as much as I could, and I had to take a hiatus from it because it was just too much. It was just too much, and I was tired of getting beat on for that. You know, verbally just fussed at about, you know, what I was doing on the side. I thought it was great, but it was just, you know what? At one point, I'm like, it's just not worth it because it's always going to make someone unhappy.
Right.
So I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah.
When you did officially leave it alone, were you like completely done with it? You weren't even mixing at all at home or producing at all? You were like truly done with music for that time, or were you dabbling?
And how long did it last?
It's okay. So, you know, when I had to stop working because my youngest daughter was born, I stopped working at General Motors for a year. So that's when I mostly started doing production. That's when I made that track, A Walk in the Park. But he was saying how, what the fuck is that? That sounds crazy. And this is when I was at home producing. And so I was feeling bad about the music because he didn't like it. He didn't want to hear it. And I was like, I can't win. You know, I can't win. So that's when I got the studio outside of the home. So I stopped working at General Motors for a year. And when I went back to GM, that's when the music slowed because I absolutely could not go pick up my daughters.
Yeah, it's a ton.
Yeah, it was a lot. So I think being away from the music was probably several months, but I was still here and there working on tracks as much as I could.
Yeah.
But when I was working on tracks, I stacked them, and I had a lot in the vault. So that's what helped. That's what helped me keep things flowing.
When you came back and were ready to do it full force.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
When you did start back up, was it like riding a bike? Like you just were ready? It was like you never left? Or did you have to work to get back to
you mean as far as the level of...
Yeah, like kind of just the way you were received. Like were you immediately ready to like get back out there touring, or did you have to kind of... Was there that period where you had to build it back up to what you once were?
I had to... Well, it was easy to get back out touring because immediately I got an international booking agent.
Nice.
And that's with the help of Kevin Saunderson. He told this agent about me. So, I could still just travel on the weekends, but I had to arrange more because I had babies at home.
Yeah.
So, but still, I didn't skip on what I needed to do as far as keep the business rolling and keeping the home front happy.
Yeah.
It was work, but I did it, and I'm still here.
Are your daughters musically inclined? Are they into music at all?
Well, let me say that my oldest daughter's godfather's name is Kevin Saunderson. I don't know why this girl would not do music. I'm like, girl, you got both of us. Why not?
She's
And he
not
would
into
always,
it?
she doesn't. She
Oh.
loves it. She loves dancing to it, but she won't mix.
Maybe she's shy.
She is not shy, child. And my youngest daughter actually taught her how to work the CDJ. She's good.
Yeah.
She's
Dang.
good.
Fuck yeah.
She's graduating college on May 1st.
That's exciting.
Yes, she's a graphics major, and she knows how to mix really well. And I'm telling her
Ooh.
she needs to get into it and
Yeah.
just stay. And
I hope
said
we see
because,
her on some lineups.
yeah, she's
think we
taller
will.
than me.
Wow.
I'm 6'1" and she's 6'2".
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you have height in the genes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Her dad was 6'6".
Yeah.
So that
Okay,
did
wait.
it.
I'm not ready to end it yet because I have some like short questions about some of your tracks.
Okay, let's stop.
A Walk in the Park,
Yes.
iconic, played by so many DJs. Really became kind of like this underground track that everyone was loving. What was the inspiration behind the track?
You know what? I don't really have a set anything on that track. All I know is that one day, had the baby there. He had to run an errand. I asked him to take her with him. And by the time he came back, I was done with that track. And he was gone probably 45 minutes.
Did you name it A Walk in the Park because
Because
that's
it
how
was-
long it took?
I love that.
It
I
was
love
such
that.
I was like, oh, this was a walk in the park.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
This was a sick story.
Yeah,
love it.
that was cut and dry.
Okay, let's talk about Blocked.
Yeah.
Was that
Oh,
inspired
God,
by
you-
someone in particular?
Hell yeah.
You don't have to name
was.
names, but we want to hear the story.
I won't name names, but an individual put up a post about like the community of us. We know we all the same people. We know the same people, and someone passed away, and I was like, oh my gosh, when I saw that they listed that they passed away, and I read the comments, and one of the comments said, well, what happened to her? And not that it was a response given, it was just another post put up by the same individual and said, I don't know why when someone passed away do people ask what happened. Who the fuck cares what happened? The person is gone. Stop being this way.
Mm-hmm.
You are being invasive or you're being rude. Stop asking this kind of shit. And I was like, you know what? One of my friends called me and was like, did you see that post? I said, I saw it. And he was just like, oh my God, they're always giving problems online. I was like, I know. I said, I'm going to write a song about it. You should. And we joked about it. I was like, bitch.
Blocked. Wait,
That's where it came
so who
from.
got blocked? The one that asked the question or the one that
No,
wrote the
not the
post?
one who asked the
The
question.
one that was rude about it and
Oh,
putting up
okay,
another
okay.
post. Because,
Yeah.
it's instinct to say what happened.
I know, it actually is. I saw that it's human instinct because it's like apparently
Maybe you wanna
we need to
avoid
know
that or
like
something.
knowing what to avoid.
Yeah.
I always
Especially if
wanna
they're
know.
your
I'm so nosy.
age.
Yeah.
If it's someone your age, you're like, wait a minute, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
always want to know.
I thought it was an innocent question. I usually do think it's an innocent question, but yeah.
Okay, so
it's
what
extra
is
child.
something else that someone might do on Instagram that would instantly get them blocked by you?
Bashing people that put up a post trying to do something positive and you just bash them about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe you did this. Or I can't believe you said that. You played this? Because someone said that to me, but like, I can't believe you played this track by this person. No, I'm not going to say. It's like, because I fucking want to play it. Because, stop judging people.
Right.
It's always going to be some negativity out there. But why does it have to be?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we know we got to keep the internet and socials interesting, right? But you don't have to be rude.
Right.
Wow.
And people are going at it now. DJs fighting like
Oh, yeah.
crazy on Twitter. We have
There's a lot of beef
we
going
have
on.
lots of beef going on
I'm
in the house
sorry.
industry. It's
I'm sorry.
crazy.
When this camera goes off, y'all gonna tell me something, but okay.
I'll give
we
you
got
the
a
tea.
couple. We got a couple things. To
The
tell you.
last track that I want to know about is your most recent, Forget. And I love to see two powerhouse women coming together, you and
LP.
LPGOB. She is amazing.
I
She
love
is
her.
awesome.
What is it
She
like
is.
working with LP, and also what was the inspiration behind that track?
That was one of the things that, like, I got to the point of producing tracks and finding my sound, because when Moody Man was telling me to start the label, he said, make that kind of stuff that you like to play. well, it took me a while to get there. I needed the right support system. I needed the right team. I needed to feel good about the music I put out. So Forget was one of those tracks that I was in my element. This is my sound, and this I wanted it to feel the way that it feels to people. A banger with a little bit of vocal. So that basically is what happened with Forget. And working with LP is wonderful because she's a beautiful young lady. She's so empathetic. She's so sweet and caring. Since the day I met her, I saw her at Movement on the Movement stage last year. I saw her up there playing, and when I went on the stage, she's kind of froze or whatever. When I was behind, I didn't mean to make her shy, which a lot of ladies do that though. They get a little shy when I get up there,
Really?
And that's why I really don't stand there like stoic or anything. I'm like, bang it, getting, supporting them or whatever, so they'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was there on stage when she played Movement last year, and she said that was a moment that she knew that she wanted to work with me. So I'm glad she thought about me for the project. Yeah, so it's been pretty cool working with her. I've done interviews with her, and I played last week in Miami with her.
It only
really?
makes sense that you two would
Yeah.
come together. You're both doing such similar things for women and
Yeah,
for the industry.
Film
so
House.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to see it. Do you do most of your own vocals?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I was listening to all of your songs today, and I'm like, I feel like this is her.
Yeah, that's and I was always shy about my voice as well, using my voice on my tracks. And someone said to me once, well, you don't want to use your voice on all of your tracks. And my supportive friend said, why not? Because that's how people are going to get to know you. You see Mr. V doing all his own shit.
Yeah.
What's the problem? So I'm
We
writing
just-
the next
I love
one right
it.
now.
We just had an artist in here, and he uses his wife on all of his songs, and it was just interesting. Like, he has a built-in vocalist rather than himself. It's
But
his
she
wife.
has the real built-in right in her own,
yeah, literally in the voice
in her
box.
own body. So
Right.
So I feel like I could talk to you for hours on end,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate we only have 1 hour with you. But what do you want the people to know? What do you have? Any tracks coming up? Any dates you want to publicize a little bit?
I have a few things coming out. I kind of got like the year locked with tracks coming out on different labels.
Nice.
I've got that Movement stage, Memorial Day weekend, some after parties, some before parties, and I got a lot of travel. So next week is New York studio, and then tomorrow is Q in Seattle.
Miami
And-
to Seattle.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a long
one.
flight.
Yeah, it is.
That's like
Trust
as
me, I
long as you
know.
can get.
Man, from east
Domestically.
to west. Yeah, so I did the same thing last week when I went from Atlanta to Los Angeles. 10 hours.
Oof.
Coming from Colombia.
Those are the
Jeez.
bad ones.
Yeah. Too much. So, yeah, I've got quite a bit of travel, and I'm doing a lot more with my brand, House Your Life. So you can kind of keep your ears and eyes peeled for that. So I'm just excited about the things we're cooking up.
We will, and I am very excited too. I can't wait. And it's been so nice talking to you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. You
Thank
are a
you.
riot, and you're not shy.
Yeah, I
Even
know.
if you think you are, you're not.
I am.
No, but it has been a pleasure, and you are so incredible. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
Thank
sharing
you.
your time with us.
Thank you.
And for the listeners, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please share it with your friends, like, subscribe, and do all the fun stuff. And thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Whiskey out.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace. But girl, who is